Hey there, good looking. Let's get cooking.
Hey there, good looking. I sure have missed you all. Can you guess what we're going to be canning up today? As you can see, I have my canning jars. So you know it's a canning video. You see, I have another number 10 can of that nacho cheese. This time I brought out some, I'm using elbow macaroni. I have my ladle, I have my jar lifter, I have my funnel, I have my hot water that I'm going to sit there and soak my canning lids in. And in here I have my canning rings. I'm going to grab the lids, put them right in there. And just set this off to the side. I have a large kettle because we're going to be opening up our nacho cheese sauce and emptying the contents right into the large Dutch oven pan, but mine's glass. We have our lid lifters and we have our debubbler. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open up my can of cheese sauce and we're going to put all the contents of this number 10 can right into my big little Dutch oven over there. Ooh, do you see all that luscious cheese sauce? As you see, all my cheese sauce is now in my Dutch oven. Now, I grabbed some of my chicken bouillon and I put a good tablespoon of that inside of the empty nacho cheese sauce can. Now I'm gonna fill this can up with water. We're gonna mix up that bouillon that we just put in there and then we're gonna add it to the cheese sauce. Here is, I didn't fill it all the way, but here's my can of the chicken bouillon. Now let's just add all this to this. I'm just gonna put my spatula on there. And now, ooh, it's not all gonna fit, but we'll just hold on to that in there. Now mix this all up and take your time when mixing it. Now we're gonna grab the noodles. As you see, I'm using elbow noodles. I also have a 1/3 cup. So we're going to be adding 2/3 cup of the elbow noodles or whatever noodles that you decide that you want your macaroni and cheese to be. If you want them to be the shells, use the shells. I'm just trying to use up what I all have on my pantry shelves because that's what I have on hand. So 2/3 cup. To each pint jar. Now I'm going to finish doing that to each one. Well, I didn't quite get the 8 pints that I wanted because I ran out of noodles, but I did happen to get 7 pints. Now, before we go any further, you're going to want to allow 2-inch headspace, and that's about where your canning jar starts to ball out. So right in this general area will give you, oops, I don't even have, okay, we're gonna need 2-inch headspace. So right as your canning jar kind of balls out, that's around the general area. That's a 2-inch headspace. So let's go ahead and ladle in our cheese sauce. I have my canning jar and I'm getting it as close as possible. Now, it's okay if you have some of them cheese lumps not all mixed in. A little bit more. Those are almost right there. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab my debubbler. We're gonna go down and give all them noodles a real good stir. Get them all mixed up in that luscious cheese sauce. So, on to the next jar. I'm just gonna set this off to the side. Now, let's go ahead. Do the next one. Just a tad more. There you go. Debubble and stir up all the noodles. Okay. I'm gonna keep doing that to all the rest of the jars. Let's remove the canning funnel. Now, I'm gonna go grab paper toweling. I'm gonna get a little dish that has vinegar in, and we're gonna wipe the rim of our jars. I have my vinegar here. I have my paper toweling. Now, let's just dip in and wipe the rim of every jar. Okay, I'm gonna grab my lid lifter. I'm gonna bring my container of lids that I have soaking in hot water. We got 2 of them. And we're just gonna sit there and grab our lids and place them right onto our jars. There's 2 again. I'm gonna go ahead, open up my rings, and we're gonna finger tighten our canning rings onto our canning jars. Then we're gonna take them over to our pressure canner, and we're gonna pressure can these for 20 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Let the pressure come down naturally and remove your jars. So I'm gonna finish with all the canning rings going onto the canning jars. Now, some people will pressure can these at 10 pounds of pressure, but be sure to pressure can at your elevation. So call your local extension office and they'll be glad to help you there. Now, like I said, we're going to be pressure canning these. Some people pressure can these at 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and I know some of them out there that will do it 25 minutes. I'm choosing to do 20 minutes. And always make sure you have a canner full. But I'm missing one because I didn't have enough noodles. Okay, we're over at our pressure canner. I tightened the cover all on. Now, we're gonna sit there and allow steam to be released from the inside of our pressure canner through our peacock hole here for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna sit there after we vented our canner for 10 minutes. We're gonna put our weight on at the proper weight for your area. Now where I live, it would be 10 pounds, so I would put it on the number 10 down onto my All-American canner. And then I would bring my dial up over here to the proper pounds of pressure that it needs to be at. This will sit there and rock for, maybe 10 seconds, and then I'll chill. And then it'll rock for another 10 seconds, and then it will chill. Now, you're gonna sit there and wanna sit there and keep your pressure canner always at the proper amount of pressure. Like I said, where I'm at, it's 10 pounds of pressure. 20 minutes. And that's after we vented for the 10 minutes. We came up to the pressure. Then you start your 20-minute processing time. I just want to make an update. I decided after I made these that I'm going to change the recipe, and I want you just to lightly heat the cheese sauce. Add the chicken bouillon to the cheese sauce. Stir that all up until you get a nice creamy mixture as such. Then go ahead, spoon it over the 2/3 cup of noodles that we have in our pint jars. And then we're gonna ladle the sauce over the noodles, giving a 2-inch head space. We're gonna sit there and debubble all that. Add more cheese sauce if you need to be. We're gonna pressure can these, and I'm pressure canning for my elevation, and that's 10 pounds of pressure. You be sure to check out what your elevation is in your area and be sure to can at your proper elevation. Now, we're going to process these for 15 minutes. Now, I went ahead and I brought over my cheese sauce because I don't want all of this into macaroni and cheese. I want some of this cheese sauce for such things as nachos, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, an Arby's roast beef sandwiches with the cheddar cheese. That's great with this. This is also great for a Taco Bell bake-out, take-out meal of a crunch wrap. You can sit there with this cheese sauce, make au gratin potatoes. Let your imagination be your imagination. Pour this cheese sauce over just the veggies if you're having a hard time getting your kids to eat their veggies. Everything's better with the cheese sauce. Now, speaking of that, I went ahead, I plated up some of these tortilla chips. I also went ahead and I browned up some ground beef and put some taco seasoning in with the ground beef. Now, I'm just gonna sit there and spread a few tablespoons or spoonfuls of the taco meat mixture. Such as that. And now, I'm just gonna grab some of this cheese sauce and we're just gonna spoon that all over the top of this. And there's your taco nachos. So, I'm just gonna sit there and take a taste test. I know how it is. I love it like this. So, here's to happy eatins'. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Oh, is that good? Mm-mm.
Now, if you liked what you saw here today, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, go up, hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell. That way you always be notified every time I do put out a new video. And as always, here's to happy cooking, but better yet, happy eatings. Y'all come back now. You hear?